Hey there, good morning Facebook family. So Dave Beamer here. So I've got one for you. I've been doing a little bit of traveling this week for work. We had some events here in Kentucky that took me out of town, away from home a couple nights, which was okay. Traveled quite a bit. So with that, I stayed in a hotel for a couple nights, like everybody does, right? And I went downstairs yesterday morning. I think we're all kind of used to the regular breakfast deal at the hotels, right? We're thankful for them. We're thankful there's something down there, but it usually don't get your hopes up, right? Definitely not going to get grandmother's breakfast from the lobby of a hotel. So anyway, I go down for breakfast yesterday morning, and in the breakfast area, they've got, some assorted breads and bagels and that kind of thing. And so in that space, they also had what was labeled as ham steaks, right? So again, this is a pretty big brand name hotel. And so they have ham steaks. Well, I'll share with you, I grew up on a farm. And I know a little bit about ham. And I know a little bit about steaks. And what was there was neither. So I was just kind of sitting there thinking about it. And so I just decided to ask a lady that was there, and she was helping out, cleaning up, that kind of stuff, And I said, hey, I was just curious, like, what's up with the ham steaks? Why were they named ham steaks, just out of curiosity, right? And she's like, well, they're really good, and they're big, they're pretty good size. And I thought, I don't even know that they would cover up a biscuit, right? So as I was driving, I was on the road for about, maybe 35 minutes or so from the hotel to where I was going. And I was thinking to myself, that seems like, it seems like it would be okay to name it ham steaks, right? Not a big deal. But when I was really considering it, I thought, without a doubt, it was a bit of an exaggeration. And so an exaggeration, as I continue to unpack it on this drive in the quiet, an exaggeration is really no different than a lie, right? It's really no different than just not telling the truth. And so, obviously, once I got to that point, I continued the thought process. And then on the way home last night, on the drive home, it kind of entered my mind again, and I was pondering on it again and thinking about it. And I thought, it's so easy to call something on the outside, to give it a name that's maybe not full truth, right? To give it a name that's maybe a little easier to relate with folks on, to give something a name that really doesn't speak the full truth as to what something is. And so as I began kind of reflecting in my own life and considering the four areas that I talk about. I was considering, hey, what does that look like about not really telling the full truth? Hey, good morning, Connie. Not really telling the full truth around my body. Well, when I look back on yesterday, it's easy to walk around here with an Ironman bracelet on. When I considered yesterday, I had donuts yesterday, I had pizza yesterday, almost even had soda pop yesterday. And it's not about those things, right? It's about calling something really, truly what it's not. It's about not speaking the full truth all of the time. And it starts small, right? And we feel like it's small and at surface level, but really there's a deeper issue there. The ability to actually be able to speak truth and to trust it, right? It's difficult, and it's difficult to hear. I've had conversations this week that are difficult for me to hear. But it doesn't change the fact that the truth is the truth always, right? And when you're willing to go to that place, even though it's difficult, it's hard, the more frequently you go there, the easier it gets. I believe that. But it's difficult to not want to make something a little better than what it is. So when I look at that around being in my spiritual life, I think, I'm definitely traveling. I wasn't meditating on a day-to-day basis when I was traveling. I could make all kinds of excuses as to why, right? Reading, being in scripture, being in word. That didn't happen, right, this week. Again, I can make a ton of excuses, and they'd be justified, right? When I think about my relationship with my family and my kids, this week. It's easy to say, hey, you know, things are good. Things are great. Well, they are, but they could be better, right? The truth is, when I get busy working on things in business and trying to do multiple things at once, I drop the ball there. I don't spend the necessary time there. And while it's easy to say, hey, things are good or things are great, well, they are compared to maybe who else I want to compare it to, but really the only person I have to compare it to is myself. And so when is it my very best? No, it's not, but it can be, right? But I have to be willing to tell the truth to myself and others about that. And then when I look at business and look at some of the things that we're trying to pull off, and had a ton of you guys reach out to me around that, and which has been really, really cool. And I've had great conversations with a lot of people, which again has been really cool and also very inspiring. But the truth is, you know, to say, you know, I'm this or I'm that, it's easy to just put a nice, clean little title on it and call it something, right? And it's just not. It's not there yet, right? And that's okay, but you just got to be willing to go there and to actually say what it is and to give it what it is. So I'll just ask you, where are you? Where are you in telling the truth? Where are you in telling the truth in your life? You know, it's easy to put a label. It's easy to call it ham steaks when really it's a really small piece of ham, and that's really all it is, right? Dried out. Maybe even ham jerky, not ham steaks, right? So, you know, where are you in your relationships at home? Guys, especially, where are you with your relationships at home? You know, where are you calling it something that's not? Relationship with kids, relationship with wife, with your bride, as I call my wife. With your body, where are you? You know, are you saying, hey, I'm working out, like I'm training? And what that really means is like 1 day a month, right? So anyway, feel free. I'd love to hear. Put some comments down below. Shoot me a private message. Give me a call. That's okay too. I did have a friend reach out and say, man, your morning walks ought to be called 4 minutes of fire. I really, really like that. But I got to get them under 4 minutes, right? I think today we're trending toward 8. So I'll try to work on making them shorter. Hopefully they're relevant. And I hope you guys make it an awesome day today.